Well, hello. Good day, everybody. Welcome to the show. Mike is here. That is me. Garrett is here. Hello, Garrett.
Hey, howdy.
How are you, pal?
I'm doing all right today.
Good. Good. Yeah, I am too. I'm watching these news people flip out. It's just hilarious to me
What are
how
they
much
flipping out
they.
about this time?
Well, yeah. Which Trump story are they flipping out about now?
Yeah, which Trump
Yeah.
story, I should say.
It's funny. I'm watching. I have CNN on in the background.
Burned into
And
the
Jake,
TV.
and I literally, as I was waiting for you to boot up, I just had, so I'm catching 30 seconds of it, but it's all you need to know. Like, as long as they can put Trump in the headlines and, you know, pretend he's some existential threat to the world, they'll do it. And
Yep.
it's just so funny. These people have had just this carte blanche to control the narrative, and they don't know what to do when they've lost control of that. And so apparently Trump gave some interview, sounded very level headed. He's like, look, the calls are coming from inside the house.
Yeah,
you know,
he's been saying
the,
that a while.
yeah, the Nancy Pelosi's of the world are not your friend. Like they're corrupt, they're sinister, they're shitty human beings. Basically in a nutshell. And and now Jake Tapper's trying to compare it to like it's never in the history of this country. It's like, yeah, a lot of us have been hoping someone would call these fucking clown corrupt assholes out.
Yeah,
Greedy oligarchs and greedy, grimy politicians out for the shit job they've done for this country. And you've been able to just control that narrative forever. And so a lot of people um, feel like, yeah, not the end of the world. If you take these people, that the only way they can get to those levels are by being bought, and that, like, that's the way the ladder is climbed. Like, you can't.
yeah.
So it's why I've often talked about Trump creates this weird problem in that he didn't come up through the chain like they do, where you know it
They
is what
weren't
it is. But
sponsored by the military industrial
right,
complex.
right. Wall Street, the whatever, lobbyists that get you to where you are, so you'll do their bidding for them, not on behalf of the American people,
No.
not on behalf of the Garretts of the world and me and anyone else, but the powerful elite, and seeing that unravel in real time is wild. It's wild to see these people called on their bullshit by someone who actually has a voice. Like, you just used to be able to throw those people in a corner and be like, Alex Jones,
Yeah,
some wacky farmer saw a UFO, and their narrative is crumbling in real time. I mean, it's kind of the theme of a lot of aspects of this show.
yeah.
And I love seeing the pushback on, captured, corrupt media. I've been calling out media outlets for decades, and and seeing them, and having this underbelly of journalists that get more and more credible every single day. The more people wake up to it and then go do a Substack.
Yep.
I have great hopes for the Anna Kasparians of the world, who
I,
I disagree with on a lot of stuff, but agree with on a lot of
no,
stuff.
I think Tucker Carlson, above everyone else, proved that as soon as you get out of the mainstream of it and
Yeah.
start just doing your own thing, you can be just as successful, if not more so.
Oh yeah. And that wasn't the case as much as 10 years ago.
Yep.
And
And now
so
it's helping a lot of these people come out and have their own voice heard.
yeah. Yeah. You're seeing it every single day. I've got a story today about, new polling done on trust in media. And it's not shocking. It should
No.
be, it should make people look inward at what they're doing that is leading people down this road of distrust. And, COVID had a lot of negative aspects to it. It was horrible going through it. The fallout's been horrible, but the one silver lining is you really got to see these people for what
Yep.
they really are and what their end game is in a lot of respects. And it's, I don't want to say it's evil. It's evil. It's just, you
It's
know,
scary to me that the government proved they can shut us down.
yeah. And that money is at the end of, sorry, I just cut my leg.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm all right.
Do you have any bleed stop?
I'm bleeding. If you can see
Do you
that,
need
I'm
bleed
bleeding.
stop?
I do somewhere. Can you give me one?
Yeah, hold on.
Fuck
I'll
it.
throw up the
Yeah.
Mike Lindell read.
Yeah, there you go. Give me 1 second. Bink.
He's back.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that, folks. Yeah. If I let that just sit there, Binky's going to start licking it.
Oh yeah, you don't want
I don't
that.
want to do that. Yeah. I had a tiny little, as Marshall calls it, a hurt on
Yep.
my knee. I had a little hurt. Um, so there was this like the tiniest remnant of a little scab on my knee. And I just reached down and scratched it. And so,
Oh no.
yeah. And then I started bleeding out. So I don't have Mike
Injury on the
Lindell's
side.
bleed stop on hand.
You're
Um,
lacking.
the more people though that get in this space, like for a long time, it troubled me. It was like, God damn it, this is the only thing I know how to do in the world. So part of me is like, fuck. Now every asshole with a $20 internet connection and a cheap microphone can do this, and it creates this space where everybody's doing it, and so there's nothing special about it. Like my job used to be special. It was like
Yeah.
you drove in somewhere, and there were only a very few of us that did it, or or were able to make a living at it. It requires working for free for a long time or for pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
And if you
Now
really want it bad enough, and you're somewhat decent at what you do, or you hitch your wagon to something that's good, you can eke out a living. And a lot of people fell off. A lot of people that got into it, did an internship, tried it, like failed, and so you felt kind of special, like, yeah, I can do this. And you get kind of an ego about it, like, oh, I guess I'm different than people. I
yeah.
couldn't go do what an electrician does. I couldn't go do what an engineer does, but I'm confident in saying they couldn't walk in and just do what I do.
Yeah.
Um and so part of me for a lot of years was like, yeah, people crowding this space, kind of sucks. But part of it is like I really honestly believe that that landscape is so corrupted. And believe me, there's some funny stories in today too. So we'll get to those. But it's so corrupted that the more and more people that are bailing on that system, I think I can't understate, and I don't watch a lot of him, but I know how important Glenn Greenwald is.
Yeah.
Like, it's not lost on me just how important Charlie LaDuff is. These are people that are not afraid to go into battle with powerful people and give them the what for, not blanket coverage, like, oh yeah, they said this, and here's why it's great for you, and knowing that it's not, that it's
Yeah.
bullshit on its face. Those people are important. Charlie LaDuff, I don't have to agree with everything he's ever done in his life. You don't either. But those voices are very important, and having those outlets, to be able to say what you want, report how you want. There's very few outlets where you can truly do that. Tucker learned, not the
Yep.
hard way, the good way,
Yeah.
exactly what Fox News's limit was. And no, it was not dissemination of fake news or anything like that. It was
No,
like,
it was speaking out against their sponsors of the voting machines.
well, and even more so, I think the war machine.
Yeah.
He was taking very public positions about these endless wars, and speaking out about something that were pharmaceutical companies. Like, I think the pharmaceutical company one was bad. The stuff he was saying on the wars was
Yeah.
bad. And you gotta really be careful about getting into that box of like, oh, they're just so and so. Oh, he's it's so easy to go alt right. Like, alt right means something, alt left means something.
Yeah.
And to just take anybody that has a different opinion than you and peg them as some, like, alt right, historically meant, oh yeah, the extreme something. It's like you think of the guys holding up in the woods waiting for some militia group
Yeah.
or something, like and to peg, like, these guys like that, it's silly. It
Guys like
less.
me who are gay and go to just a regular job and have a normal life.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, you're extreme, mega.
Pro-abortion. All
Yeah.
right.
But you see it time and time again, and I love the pushback that's going on, and it kind of leads into the first story today. These candidates are doing a lot of media, and I've said for a while, I think if Trump's smart, he goes on Joe Rogan's show.
Yeah.
Not because I think Joe Rogan's the best interviewer in the world. He's very, very good at what he does, but because I think it reaches a large audience, right? Like, I would love to talk to Donald Trump. I would love to
Yeah.
talk to Kamala Harris. I really would. And I think I could do a good job interviewing them. I think, I believe that to be true. It just wouldn't get the impression, that the exclusivity that the media has had forever. Like, we got to do a CNN town hall. Bullshit. No, you don't.
Yeah.
Why? In fact, why? Why would you do that? Why? You're way better off historically if you can go on a Howard Stern. Not
Yep.
anymore, but there was a
No.
day. Going on a Joe Rogan, and the reports are that he is going to do, in fact, Howard Stern or Joe Rogan show.
Yes.
And then in what I can only deem as a desperation move. I don't know how else you'd view it, just because of historically what we've seen with Kamala Harris, where there and someone I watched a video with someone who pointed this out awesome and said this is the death loop. Or
Yep.
the doom loop,
Yep.
Our numbers are tanking. We have to put her out there. The problem is when we put her out there and the more people see her speak on things, the more they fucking despise her. So it's the doom loop. You have to do one to hopefully bolster your message. Unfortunately, the person you have leading that it fails every time they do it.
Yeah.
But, in what I think is a good move, I was calling for it a year ago with Biden. I still believe it's true with Kamala Harris. She is apparently in negotiations with Rogan's team to do an interview there. And that seems about as Hail Mary as you can get to me.
Yeah.
Because that is not going to be a situation there, I don't believe at all, where you're going to get advanced questioning. It's going to be like you and I sitting here talking right now, Garrett.
Yep.
It's as simple as that.
Rogan might be a little soft sometimes when he interviews people, but
Sure.
I think he will be pressured enough to ask the good questions, at least.
Rogan's
Bring
very
up the harder
good.
Topics.
The hardest part about this is because I understand why a lot of people would want, like, oh, I wish Rogan would interview him. Well, the fact of the matter is you can't be expert in everything. You just can't. Like, Joe has his wheelhouse. Joe's really good at the martial arts stuff. I skip those episodes. I don't care.
No, nobody watches those.
He's and maybe they do. I don't know. I just don't care about some combat sport like that. I don't. So when he does those, I'm out. But that's fine. He should do those. He's very good at them. He knows what he's talking about. He's kind of good with industry stuff. He's certainly an expert with comedy clubs, comedy, writing and that kind of stuff. He's very knowledgeable about that. But when he has doctors on or research scientists, it's not fair to expect him to be,
no, and he'll tell you himself. He's there to learn from the doctor. He's there to learn from who he's interviewing.
Yeah,
just like the listener. And that's kind of why I think his show works so well, is because he's learning along with the listeners.
Yeah,
and he's asking the questions you kind of want to know.
Yeah, and he kind of, for someone that's been in the spotlight, a celebrity for forever. I don't. What is Joe? 57 years old, 58 years old, something like that.
He's been going before I was born.
Before you were born, he was someone that we knew. It's funny when I do some of the Drew and Mike Pause, I keep running. There's a couple interviews with Joe Rogan that I haven't played, but I have, and maybe I'll do that in the members area, patreon.com/TDC podcast. Maybe I'll air one of those and just see
when we were bigger than him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Don't get confused. He still would have murdered every one of us, physically. But it might be fun to go back and he would have been promoting Fear Factor, or it probably would have been Post News Radio, because I want to say that was in the mid 90s. But it might be funny to hear a young Joe Rogan who doesn't, let's be honest, have as much responsibility as he would have back then. I mean, he's got way more responsibility now. You can hear it in his interview style. You can hear that it's not lost on him, the size, just how big it is. And as much as he tries to ignore it, play it down, can't think about it, it's not lost on him. It's impossible. So he's aware of it. Well, he wouldn't have cared as much in 1998, 99, 2000.
No.
So I should do that. Next time I run into one of those, I'll do that for our fine members. We will do a member show for them tomorrow. Jennifer Boley is back as a member. I don't know if she was before, but I mentioned her yesterday, and So she'll get that exclusive episode. I think some of the things I'm going to touch on tomorrow, I pulled a couple stories involving fact checkers.
Okay.
And how fact checking works. And I think that might be one of the topics tomorrow, and kind of go into a little more depth of how they get to where they get and whatnot. So we'll talk about that. But kind of wrapping around all of this, Trump has been doing media like crazy. He's doing interviews on, this podcast, that podcast. He did the comedian that you like. He's done a lot of
Theo
these.
Von.
What's that?
Theo Von.
Yeah. And it's just like, boom, sit down for a couple hours and shoot the shit. And it's not polished. It's not I'm going to roll on my sleeves for the American people. Like, it's none of that bullshit, which is what I love the most about it, And Kamala's doing the same thing. They're sticking her out on very, very friendly, non-adversarial. And it's like, okay, if she goes on Joe Rogan, that's balls, man. Not because Joe will be a dick, but because we've never seen her off script. We've never seen her off teleprompter, ever.
Sink or swim.
Ever. So you can't fake and bullshit your way through that. You can't expect that the person talking to you is gonna have zero pushback no matter what retarded thing comes out of your mouth, which is what you get on The View or Howard Stern or Stephen Colbert. Let's sit on and have a beer. That old gag, that old politician trick, like, hey, I'm just like you having a beer. Like, ugh, there's
Kamala
nothing gross.
Like, I have a Miller High Life.
Yeah, it's just hilarious. But so Trump did an interview with Bussin' with the Boys podcast. I'm not familiar with it. It must be popular because if you're going to get Trump on it, that's it. It's obviously getting a lot. Couple fucking meatheads, couple NFL guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Will Compton, I think he played for the Redskins, and Taylor Lewan. Did he play for the Lions at one point? Or I definitely played for Tennessee Titans. Big dude, and they were apparently talking to Trump, in which they're talking ball. They're talking a little ball. And Trump went to the New York Military Academy in high school age, around that age, and apparently he played football at there. Not well, certainly not bragging like, oh yeah, I played football. Yeah. I was awesome. Like, no. But they're talking about it. He admittedly didn't like playing football, is what this interview talked about. He didn't like playing football because of the physicality, as well as a few other reasons. I couldn't catch the ball good, but I didn't particularly like having some guy that was lifting weights all day long and came from a bad neighborhood. Yeah, he sees me and they're tackling hard.
Yeah.
It's Trump's quote. And the guys laughed. Now, if you're talking to football guys, they know exactly what you're talking about. Now, when I was a kid, I played a little bit of football. I played a shit ton of street ball, right, with friends. Played through grade school, middle school, high school, even after we won the Air It Out tournament that the NFL put on, not bragging or anything, but in a weekend-long tournament, we won the whole thing. Ooh. I still have that trophy somewhere around here that says, you know what? There was a day when I could throw a ball and run around, believe it or not. But I didn't play much organized football. Yeah. And I played one season. I played for the Livonia Eagles? Maybe. Something like that. And I was in 8th grade, 7th grade, 9th grade, somewhere around there. And I was little. That was the problem for me. I was wee. When I was 10, I looked like I was 5. When I was 20, I looked like I was 12. And so I didn't hit puberty till much later. I was one of those kids. And so having me on the high school football team would have been hilarious. I would have looked like a fucking, a 6th grader with them. So I played 1 year of organized ball. And what I remember the most was there were a couple guys on the team that were true ballers. They would fuck you up. They enjoyed hitting. They smiled in the face of pain. Yeah. They were just a different breed. And where I loved throwing the ball, catching the ball, deking people out, I didn't like getting fucking hammered. There were some guys that just they show them in movies. You see them in movies. They're just built different. Yeah. Some people are just built different. They fucking run, they slam their face into a tree and they get up, spit out a tooth, drip blood, and laugh about it. It's just some of us. Some of us are just built that way. And those guys, some of those guys are athletic enough and have enough God-given gifts that they end up playing at a collegiate level, which is rare. And then even the most elite of those end up going to the NFL level. So you got a couple of NFL guys who would know exactly what Trump's talking about. Like, I didn't want to play against those guys that were lifting weights, came from a bad neighborhood, and were taking out their aggression on life on me. Like, that's what his point was.
Yeah.
That's why they laughed, because of that thing. I played one season against some of those guys. Kid named Chad Myers. I remember Chad Myers was a fucking tank. One of the nicest kids ever. That kid was no bullshit. Like, you did not want to be hit by Chad Myers when he was a linebacker. I don't know if Chad played in college, but he played in high school, and he played on my team, and it was like there were a couple kids that were just built different. You know, he was one of those where it's like, yeah, you didn't want to be fucking lined up by Chad, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what Trump is alluding to, and these guys laugh about it. Well, of course, the media gets a hold of it, and it's being slammed as a comment described by online critics as a racist dog whistle.
That's just that's their hocus pocus language for, we can't really think of how it's racist, but if we imply it is enough, you'll believe us.
Well, when you say from bad neighborhoods, obviously you're talking about black kids only, because there's no such thing as a poor white kid.
Oh no.
And when I mentioned Chad Myers, he was a white kid. He's a white kid, grew up in the same neighborhood as me, wired different, hit harder than other kids.
Yep.
Right.
I think Trump also,
and when I was a kid too, sorry to cut you off there, Garrett.
No, you're good.
When I was a kid too, when we played other schools and other sports, you knew when you were playing a team from Detroit proper, or if you got into a tournament, like a playoffs scenario, and it was like, these kids don't fuck around. They look bigger, stronger, faster. A lot of them were black kids, inner city kids, whatever. And you knew it wasn't a racist thing. It was like, these privileged kids that growing up the way they did.
That's what I was saying. Yeah. They kind of probably want to take out some aggression on Trump. They're like, oh, there's the fucking rich preppy kid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And to act like that wouldn't be a thing. Like, oh, we're playing the military prep academy today. Let's go fuck up some rich kids.
Yeah.
You would absolutely, if you're being honest, you would know exactly what that's talking about. Anybody would want that.
Yep.
During the interview, the host laughed at Trump's remark. The Washington Post then reached out for comment, asking why they found that amusing. So the Washington Post reached out to Will Compton and Taylor Lewan for an item on our daily politics page. This is what they wrote to them. For an item on our daily politics page, Will Compton and Taylor Lewan can they comment about their interview with Donald Trump? I'm curious about one point in the interview where Trump said he didn't like playing football against, quote, some guy that was lifting weights all day and came from a bad neighborhood. Video of the interview shows Compton and Lewan laughing at that remark, which has gotten a lot of attention online, including from Trump's opponent in the presidential race. I don't know at what point I lost you, buddy.
Just halfway through that little story right there, what they were asking Will Compton to explain why he was laughing.
Yeah, can Compton and Lewan comment on what is amusing about Trump's remark? And if that's done usually outside of independent media, like if you were to ask another media personality, something like that, they're going to be like on their heels, like, oh God, oh, did I say something wrong? Oh my, no. And they're going to backpedal, and they're going to try to come up with some politically correct response. Will Compton did not do that. So do we have the video of Will's response to the Washington Post and their bullshit narrative trying to get you to fall in line? And well, we all know what they're doing, but here he is explaining it.
All right, as you guys know, our latest episode of Bussin' with the Boys, we had on Donald Trump. And if you want to go watch it, it's on all of our channels, on all of our platforms, to go check it out. But we knew that there'd be a reaction. Good, bad, media would react, and we are getting our first media encounter. The Washington Post has reached out for comment regarding a remark made during the episode that's gaining online attention, including from Trump's opponent in in the presidential race. The remark they're referring to that they want comment on is a part of the episode where we're talking ball and how Trump used to play tight end, would have locked him up, and he essentially makes the
I love
comment,
that.
I wouldn't want to get hit, or I didn't want to get hit by somebody who's been lifting weights all day long and came from a bad neighborhood. Taylor and I laughed. They want our comment. Their question is, why did we find that amusing? And you already know what they want to do with this thing. You want to know what kind of picture they want to paint. You want to know what kind of box they want us to put us in. You want to know, their vision for this entire question on asking that. And number one, I thought it was funny because Trump is sitting there admitting that he is not built for the A-gap, nor is he a tight end that was built for catching a slant over the middle, only to get his vertebrae, his L4 and L5 compressed by a middle linebacker that probably goes on to play at Nebraska and arguably 10 years in the NFL. But just knowing that the direction they want to go with this thing as they write whatever article that they're trying to write. And they asked if Willard Taylor would provide a comment on why we found that amusing. So I'm thinking to myself, well, I'll publicly tell you guys my comment. So Washington Post, here's my comment about why I thought it was amusing.
Nice. You know what? That's honestly, that's how you should treat all media members.
Yeah. It's
all
how
mainstream media members.
It's exactly how I treat the people. I've posted pictures of it, and I see a lot of you doing it as well. When you get a fucking text and it's like, "Hi, will you support Trump and donate?" And it's like, eat all the dicks, you fucking weirdos. No. Kamala Harris wants to save democracy. Will you donate to her? Yeah. Go fuck yourself. Bye. Same thing. Washington Post reaches out to you for comment. I wish someone like that would reach out to me for comment because I'd tell them the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
That's incredible to have that fart on cue like that. That's impressive.
Oh, he was holding it the whole speech. You can kind of see it in his face.
Yeah. Fantastic. He's
like, oh, gotta wrap this one up.
Yeah. He finished it. He gave a butt will. I lived this for nearly 20 years with Mike Clark. When your boys got to talk, it is E.F. Hutton. People stop and listen.
My whole family growing up responded to their farts like they were a conversation.
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
Just in reference to the Drew and Mike show.
Yeah, sure. I bet tons of people did.
Oh, yeah.
It's great. Compton wasn't finished with a post, taking a screen grab.
Screen job.
From a 2016 article, a flattering article about him back when he was playing for the Redskins. Compton suggested the paper could do some of that, put some of that into their latest article on him. I don't want to write the article for you, Washington Post, but since you want to play he's got a writing error here. Want to play into me finding humor during our football talk with Trump. Here's an article you could call back to that you guys wrote back in 2016. Again, just spitballing.
Yeah.
This idea, by the way, that narrative needs to be destroyed. Like, you can't reference like the fact that some kids grow up in a situation where they don't have all the bells and whistles. They don't have everything handed to them, like a kid going to a New York military academy and, and have all the advantages of life. They used to make movies about these kids coming from harder upbringings and backgrounds, having a tougher go of things. And there's a couple ways you can go with that. You can view yourself as a forever victim, right? I was dealt a shitty deck. I was dealt a shitty hand, some way shittier than others. Some grew up in extreme violence, extreme poverty, extreme neglect. And at some point, what do you do with that? Do you use that to carry you forward? Like there seems to be a really big push from certain members of your political groups to want to act like you're fucked, man. The system's rigged against you. There's nothing you could do about it. That's supposed to be the basis of the beauty of this country. That unlike other countries where you are either born with a silver spoon in your mouth and those are the only people that get to experience that sort of life, or the American dream, hard to attain, requires a lot of hard work, requires a lot of things going your way. It's not the American guarantee. It's the American dream for a reason, right?
Yeah.
You're not guaranteed anything.
No, it's a dream. You got to achieve it.
Yeah, you can, through work and dedication, get to achieve stuff that you cannot in a lot of other countries. I've talked to Jenny Feder about this sort of stuff. Like, what does that mean? Opportunities for you growing up as a child in Russia. And it was like, fuck out of here. No, you come to this country if you want those opportunities. And she can go into great detail about how she's been able to succeed in this country through hard work, dedication, talent, and whatnot. It doesn't matter that she's a woman, doesn't matter that she's a lesbian. None of that matters. She was able to come to this country with $100 in her pocket and a couple suitcases at 13 years old and achieve the American dream, something she could not do in other countries.
Yep.
And, someone someday will probably make a movie about Jenny's life and Raisa's life. Someone probably will. And it could be a blockbuster if it's done right, because it's incredible, So this idea that Trump can't even reference it unless it's deemed a racist dog whistle. Think about that for a second. Think about if Eminem came from Birmingham, right? If Eminem comes from Birmingham, would he be as regarded?
No, isn't that the biggest knock against Kid Rock is that he had a big house
From
at some point?
I mean, they use that like, make no mistake, there's all levels of hard work. But if Eminem worked just as fucking hard, but he was from Birmingham, he went to Groves, would he be regarded as he is in the industry? No, he'd be Macklemore. Right? Macklemore has talent. Macklemore's good. He's not fucking Eminem.
No.
Not Eminem. Eminem, wrong side of the tracks, grew up bullied, pushed around, kicked, abusive relationships, shitty fucking parenting, like the whole works, runs the gamut, all of it. He used that to fuel himself, and you hear it in his voice. You hear it in his attitude. We look up to those people. We pedestal those people that came from tough struggles and were able to make it anyways. Like that's what we do. So to pretend like who roots for the fucking rich and has everything for him kid in the movie? Who roots for him?
Absolutely no one.
Who would watch the going up city fucking God damn
Technical difficulties.
motherfucker. So was I lost or were you lost there?
You were lost there.
God damn it.
Yeah,
I don't know how far I got there in my speech.
Very far.
It's infuriating to me that this is the message being sent to. It's not exclusive to black people. It's poor people. It's people that had tough upbringings. We're not all going to start with equal playing field. We're not. It's just not how humans work. And you got to be honest with that. You got to talk about that, and you pull for those people. I was further saying, at no point, if you're watching a Hollywood movie and it features one football team from the New York Military Academy versus some team from Brooklyn, some inner city, and you're laughing at how their bus is shit and it's breaking down and it's smoking, as they're making their way there. Their pads aren't as nice. Their jerseys are dirty or whatever, and you're laughing at them. And the story arc in those is always the same. You got the well-coiffed, fucking rich, snobby kids who don't understand their privilege as much, and they're poking fun at these kids, who don't have shit, and their cleats are old, and their jerseys are tattered. And nobody in the world is rooting. You don't root for the overdog. You root for the underdog. You're rooting for them to fucking teach these people a lesson. And it seems like more time than not right now, we're like, I don't know what the message is. Like, we all are rooting for those people. Always.
Yeah. The message is, though, if you reference them, you're racist.
Right. If you're going to reference them, as if everybody's supposed to go, what on earth is Trump even talking about there? Like, we're all supposed to pretend. He said
bad neighborhood. That means he hates black people.
Yeah, and you're the one that automatically assumed you meant black people when you said bad neighborhood.
Kind of racist.
I mean, it's just, it's just sad, and I see it. It's way easier to go through life like, oh, I had no chance. My parents was kind of sucked. We were broke. I didn't eat everything that, I didn't have a healthy diet. Yeah, it's tough. And a lot of people are going to end up in therapy. They're going to end up, but you can, in this amazing country, work your way through that. Not easy, but, telling young people that they can't because of their skin color or because of the school they went to or any of those things is just a toxic thing, and then, you got Barack Obama telling black kids how they need to vote.
Yep.
That went over about as well as Will Compton's fart in that last piece. People were pissed. People were offended by Obama's comments, pointing his finger, talking to you, blackie, talking to you, young blackie. You need to vote the way I want you to vote, or you're failing the country. Kind of attitude, like, go fuck yourself, dude. So Kamala Harris is asked about this. Obama's remarks to reporters on the campaign trail Wednesday. She sidestepped the controversy and acknowledged his support. Smart. This is, again, teed up for you. Smack this motherfucker out of the park. Easy. I could literally run her campaign for her. I could run her campaign. Now, she would be wholly full of shit, but I could at least make her sound competent. Let me first say that I'm very proud to have the support of former President Obama. Was that in question? Did you earn his support? Is that what happened there?
Who do you think put her there?
And I think that the important point that I will make over and over again is I don't assume to have the vote of any demographic lockdown, but you do. You do assume to have that. That's part of the problem, Kamala, with people and people like you. During a surprise campaign visit in Pittsburgh, Obama criticized the brothers in the black community for their lack of enthusiasm for Harris. Part of it makes me think, and I'm speaking to men directly, part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. You're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that. Comments drew criticism from some in the black community, said the comments were condescending. Yeah. Black voters, male voters, are a weak spot for Harris. So are black female voters. Just telling you. Go online, after you listen to this show, of course. Go online, go to YouTube and search some videos of true independent voices, people on the streets. See what black dudes are saying. There was
a video I wanted to bring this up.
One thing they're going to say, and I'll let you bring it up, is what you hear over and over is, I ain't fucking with her, man. I ain't fucking with her. It's not the way I'd word it. It's the way a lot of them are wording it. Yeah. What were you going to say?
There's a guy on YouTube. I got to find his channel. I'll probably put it in the fan page later. But he works at a gas station in the hood, like a really bad area.
Yeah.
His customers all the time. He's literally leaning in the counter. He's like, yo, I'm voting for Kamala. What about you? And every single one of them, Trump supporter.
Yeah.
What did I got? Yeah. Can I get backwoods, a lighter like that? And he's like, hey, you vote for Kamala? He's like, fuck no, I ain't voting for that shit. What the fuck? Who the fuck you think I am?
Unfiltered black guy is the best guy in the world. They're the best. Awesome. They're the best. Because you know what? They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. They say, there is this thing where it's like, like a white guy would. cocksucker. No offense, Garrett.
That's 3 now. None taken.
I don't know what's going on here. Again, this will be fixed eventually. I apologize if you're having to stomach through this. Just keep in mind, if the connection cuts out, it will come back like this and we can pick up. The problem is I just don't know when you stopped hearing me blather there, Garrett, if you can tell me where I was in that. So it's been reported that a quarter of young black men support Trump, which would drop Harris even further. She's just automatically counting on these dudes voting for her. Yeah, we've gotten 95, 96% of their support no matter what we do. No matter what. And so they're banking on that. They've just put those in the win column. And now black dudes are going, yeah, I ain't fucking with her, man. Yeah, I don't believe she's black anyways. Like, that's the honest answer. That's not an answer you'll get on the news. It's not an answer you'll get in but when you actually poll these guys, when you put a camera in their face and get their opinion, they're pretty conclusive in their opinion. Harris released her opportunity agenda for black dudes and was also asked about Obama's comments during a town hall in Detroit with Charlemagne the God. Okay. I'm not calling a grown man Charlemagne the God. His name is Lenny. Yeah. Okay. His name is Leonard. So when you hear me reference Lenny or Leonard, Leonard McKelvey is Charlemagne the God's actual name. So Lenny was talking to Harris, asked if Obama's remarks stepped on her plan to release black economic agenda. Harris denied, oh, no, obviously not, Leonard. I've been doing this quite some time, including before I was running for president. Leonard noted that Obama was wagging his finger at black men and suggested that white Republicans should do the same to white women and white men for supporting Trump in the past elections. Here's the truth, Leonard. No, you could never get away with that on the right. Never. Yeah. Imagine, Garrett, if some politician on the right went, listen here, you gays, you need to fall in line.
If you know anything about my camp, you that's how you get things mailed to your house.
They wouldn't dare, Leonard. No. That's the difference between someone just automatically expecting to have your vote and someone like they might be full of shit. In fact, they probably are, politicians on the right, but they wouldn't dare be that obvious about it and wag a finger at one of us and demand we vote a certain way based on our fucking skin color. Yeah. Wouldn't happen in a million years. They'd be laughed out of the room if they tried it. It would be so insulting. They'd be shamed without mercy, Leonard.
Exactly. And
that's how that would actually play out, Lenny. So this idea that, well, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And, if they're doing it to Leonard and his type, then white politicians and Republican politicians should do it to white men and white. Yeah, good luck with that. They wouldn't dare. So Harris sidestepped the controversy, but highlighted her Republican support from people like John McCain, Mitt Romney, and Liz Cheney. Yeah, here's the problem with that. Dick Cheney, these are monsters. This isn't the win you think it is. I don't know any Republicans who, through time, agree with Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney is as bought and paid for by the military-industrial complex. He is not doing the bidding of the American people. He's a war criminal and a warmonger, period. Like, so saying you got the support of Dick Cheney is like, you should.
Kamala came out saying she had the support of 200 Republicans, everybody on the Republican side said, yeah, those are not Republicans. They're the ones we're fighting against. That's the swamp we're trying to drain.
Yeah. And by the way, this idea of like, black men, you need to get in line, do your part, you're failing us, blah, blah, blah. This is the basement of identity politics. This is where this goes. When push comes to shove, this is where you're not viewed as free-thinking adult humans, fully capable of making your own decision. And if you dare think for yourself, you're accused of something. You're accused of in this case, you're accused of being sexist. Yeah. As if that's the only possible reason you couldn't, black man, fall in love with Kamala Harris. It must be you hate women. This is like if a restaurant is serving fresh dishes of dog shit and then calls you sexist if you don't just eat it. Like you're a politician selling an idea. You're selling a commodity. You're selling yourself. You're selling a vision. What they're actually telling you is there is something so inauthentic about this person that I'm not comfortable going that way. I don't believe what she's saying. Now, if I'm Kamala Harris and I'm asked a question like that, here's how you actually answer that question, and you move on. This is not rocket science, okay? And knowing that they're all full of shit, anyways, you can just do the rolling up my sleeves for the American people. But this idea that it's like, I'm so proud of what I'm doing, Project 2025, fear.
Yeah.
January 6th is the biggest assault on the country. Like doing that bullshit. I grew up in a middle class family. Like no one gives a shit, you idiot. Here's what you do. You go, you know what? Historically, we have failed these people. And by these people, I mean the poor. And a lot of those communities are filled with people of color, brown people, black people. And if you elect me, I will do everything in my power, every ounce of me to prove that you aren't just human beings to be used and abused and expected to be fall in line like good little boys and girls for some political movement.
Yeah.
No, historically, these people have been lied to. Historically, these people have been run roughshod over. Historically, they've been ignored. Their problems haven't been addressed properly. And you see it in the failing schools that we force these kids to go to. We see it in the failed policies and not taking it seriously when they have poison water running through their streets and through their households. It's unacceptable. It's not right. And you all know that if this was happening in Birmingham, Michigan, not fucking 24 hours would go by before these problems were addressed. And if you have the faith and the trust and you see the vision that I see for this country, no longer will these people just be viewed as a demographic to take advantage of. No more. I will address the problem with Flint's water system and what's going on with the poor, with the poor folks in Palestine, Ohio. That like it's not acceptable to have major companies come in and crash a train through neglect and dump poison toxins all over their water supplies and then just not clean it up because fuck them. No, that's not acceptable. And I will not take these votes for granted. I will not assume I've won everybody's vote. That's how you answer that question. Next question, Leonard, who's probably making $5 million a year.
More.
Probably. This isn't, I mean, do you believe what you're saying? Do you believe you can help people out? Because that's the way you answer that question. What you don't do is go, I served you a plate of shit. I was completely full of shit with what I did. I did literally nothing for the black community. I had 8 years. And that go back to the crux of this. Those black men don't trust you, Barack. You were elected, had 8 years. They felt like, hey, maybe here's a chance that someone takes our fucking needs for real. And you know what you did? You fucking spit in their face. You turned into a warmonger.
You got a third house in Martha's Vineyard.
Google it. Yeah, one of your 4 mansions around the fucking country. Google it. He deported more people for you being a champion for illegal border cross, like whatever bullshit you're dumping these people into their communities now. No, you deported more people than anyone. I don't have a problem with it, but let's be honest about it. You ran out of bombs. You dropped so many fucking bombs on poor countries around this country, Barack Obama, that the military-industrial complex ran out of bombs.
It's a known fact that he also ordered a drone strike on 2 American citizens, one of which was a minor.
What? Wait, was that Biden or
no?
Barack?
Obama. That was Barack.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's just. I know people fall for this, and it's troubling. But the fact, it's more troubling to me that this person can't even come up with a decent lie to answer these questions. That's more fucking troubling. Like I would disregard most of her policy things. I think they're not because I don't want to help people, but because I don't think they'll work. I don't think her policy stances would work. It's not that I hate her because she's a woman. It's not because she's a person of color. Like, I have no problem with any of that. And saying anything otherwise is giving me a plate of dog shit and telling me I'm a sexist or a misogynist if I won't fucking eat it.
Yeah.
That's your problem. You know who's not serving up plates of dog shit? The Deer Lake Athletic Club.
Yeah.
They offer a full gym, fitness classes, 3 pools, swim classes, tennis, pickleball, and more. The Backcourt Restaurant inside Deer Lake Athletic Club has weekly specials like Taco Tuesday, kids meals for just $5 on Thursdays. That is a steal. If you're buying food out there, it's outrageous. Live entertainment on Fridays and Saturdays, and now they're open on Sundays at 10 a.m. for breakfast and football all day. Book your holiday party before December 1st in their banquet center for a special offer. Call 248-625-8686 for more information. Stop in at 6167 White Lake Road in Clarkston, or visit their website at deerlakeathletic.com. I don't know many things, but I can promise you they will not try to serve you up plates of dog shit.
Nope,
they are our friends. Great food. I've never had a bad meal there. I've been there many, many times.
No, I talked to Forey at the Newburgh show, and I'm having my birthday up there.
Oh, nice.
Like, I'm going to get you and your friends some rounds of drinks, maybe 2, 3, 4. I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get there. And I'm like, that's the attitude I love in a restaurant owner.
Hey, dude, when you're the boss, you can do shit like that.
Yep.
You can go, you know what?
Now I have to.
We're gonna go through a couple fifths. But you know what? It's your birthday. Let's have some fun.
Exactly.
This part of the show is also brought to you by your insurance expert. Are you paying too much for health insurance? Are you uninsured? Health insurance can be confusing. Nick Matthews from Your Insurance Expert is an expert in health insurance, life insurance, and Medicare supplements, so you don't have to be. Call Nick at 248-914-1173. It's 248-914-1173. Wrapping that whole segment up, I really do hope Kamala does Joe Rogan's show. I think that would be good. I don't think it does her any good doing Howard Stern or The View. Any of those. That's
shows where you kind of know it's softball. Like, just getting her in a real interview.
Yeah. And maybe she'll surprise us. Maybe she will. Maybe she'll go on there, feel relaxed, and she'll be great. And maybe Trump goes on there and he sounds out of touch. You know, you don't know. But if you don't put that challenge up in front of someone that wants to lead the nation, I think we all fail. And I really hope that comes together. It's got to be terrifying for them just based on the behavior that they've had this whole time with keeping her shielded, never off teleprompter. And every time she's been open to, questions from an open press corps, she's still never held a press conference. Not one. I mean, that's telling. So we'll see. We'll see. But I think that would be a good thing. I've been calling for it for months and months and months. I think it'd be good for all of us involved. I think it would get huge ratings, and people would at least be able to take it seriously. Not have a fear that this seems pre-set up, this seems rigged, this seems whatever. I don't think you would have those feelings. We've got a high school tennis coach in Pennsylvania has resigned after a porn video in which he was smoking meth while having anal sex and referring to himself as a meth whore surfaced.
Living the life. Yeah. Now, was it straight anal sex or gay anal sex? Because when meth is involved, it's probably gay.
Yeah, it was gay. Yeah, sort of.
I figured.
Sort of gay. I don't know.
Trans situation?
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
That's gay.
So I don't know. What do you do when it's a man who says he's a woman and gets fucked in the ass while smoking meth? Is that gay?
You're still sticking your dick in the rainbow somewhere, so that's gay.
Yeah. It's kind of how I was thinking, but I don't, obviously I don't want to be a transphobe. So
no. They're in the spectrum. You're putting your dick in the spectrum. That's gay.
Yeah. Seems like that to me too, but
it's all right.
What do
Nothing
I know?
wrong with being gay. Just,
No problem with the gay.
No, you're gay. Oh, well.
The smoking meth part and butt fucking someone on camera seems a little reckless, especially for a coach at a high school. But, that's just me. I'm kind of prudish when it comes to stuff like that.
I can think of some creepier high school coaches. Tim Walz.
I can't say Glenn Bruin, when he was my soccer coach at Harrison, I can't say that he was the most straight edge guy on planet Earth.
Yeah.
But I think it would have stuck with me if he was on video smoking meth and butt fucking some dude.
Yeah.
It's just me. Again, kind of prudish in nature. And Glenn, I don't think that was going on with you ever. I'm glad, I never bumped into that video.
And if
Anyway,
it was, keep it consensual.
Gettysburg area high school coach David Yates. Come on. Are we really going to dead name her now? It's Sasha. Okay. Sasha. It's
Okay.
not David Yates. It's Sasha. Appears to be smoking meth with the assistance of a woman. Asks, am I a good meth whore? In another, Yates is seen bent over a counter wearing a black bra and having sex with a man wearing a ski mask.
Oh, so he was the bottom too.
I don't know. So if he's bent over, he's the guy
He's the
taking it,
bottom.
right?
Yeah, that's gay. That is way gay.
Is that way gay?
That's way gay.
So Sasha, just
Yes.
a lady taking
lady.
it in the ass like they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Parents had long complained about Yates' behavior, including the time he went into the girls' locker room and asked students about their underwear preference and menstruation.
Well,
Just a few ladies shooting the shit about periods. What's wrong with that? Right?
The girls get your period yet?
Yeah. All of us ladies getting our periods. At the
I've
most
been
inopportune
menstruating
times.
so hard this month. So
Oh
hard.
my God. He was disciplined, but his contract was renewed for what reason? Because he was a brilliant teacher.
Oh, it might have something to do with the you can't really fire trans people right now.
Yeah, sort of. It was renewed after activists packed a school board meeting and claims Yates was being targeted due to transphobia.
Yeah.
So
Not
this is
asking little girls their menstruation period.
right. I'm glad you picked up on that part because the him getting just deep dicked in the ass and smoking meth, that came out later. But at the time, all these people were, being like, you're transphobe. Yeah. They were having issues like, why is he going into the girls' locker room and asking girls about their fucking panties and menstruation stuff?
Yeah.
Like, why is the tennis coach doing that?
I feel like unless there's an emergency, the adult shouldn't be in the locker room anyways with the students.
No. I agree.
That's been my hard and fast rule. It was never like that in my high school. We never had the adult in there with us. You were just expected to go in there, do your thing, and get the fuck out.
I had one at Riley Middle School. I've talked about it before, and it was fucking creepy because we're prepubescent kids in the boys' locker room, and we had a teacher. He would sit right there at the edge of the door going into the showers. It was just like an opening. It wasn't even a door.
Yeah,
and they would demand you had to shower. Like little boys don't want to fucking be in there with a bunch of other little boys naked.
Yeah.
Like you just don't. But you would have to go in there and they would demand that you were naked. You'd try to get away with anything you could, like wear shorts, keep my underwear on, anything.
That's a creepy situation. It's like Drew swimming naked.
Yeah. And then when you'd leave, you'd have to check in. I remember this. You'd have a towel around your waist, just wanting to get the fuck out of that shower, get to my locker and put some clothes on and go about my world.
Yeah.
And you would have to flash the guy an ass cheek and show him that you actually went in nude and showered. That was
weird.
Yeah. Had to do it every day. Every day that they made you shower after gym class.
You might have a class action or something.
Yeah, it was 7th, 8th grade. Now he didn't jack me off or anything, but he made you show some flesh to show that you were nude.
He probably pulled a couple other kids aside after class.
I don't know.
I just don't think you were cute enough for him.
I think I was cute enough. That's bullshit, and I'm offended by that. I think I was definitely cute enough.
How about you weren't his
touched.
type?
Maybe. Yeah, he was a goofy dude.
Now
the critics, so all those activists that were screaming in the board room, in the board meeting when they were dressed about this guy's behavior, gal's behavior, excuse me. They've gone silent. They're not around right now.
Oh.
According to Michelle Smyers, who's a school district board member, who says she was pilloried as a bigot after voting not to renew his contract. For those like me that maybe don't know what pilloried means, it means attacked or ridiculed publicly.
Yeah.
So she was attacked, and that checks. That's what we see time and time again. It's like just blast them as bigots as anything else. Their concerns are not relevant. Their concerns don't matter. Smyers told the Daily Wire that she received an email with the two videos at 3:00 in the morning, September 29th, from an address called Thug Love.
Oh, no.
It contained the message, thought you might find it interesting how your high school tennis coach.
Oh, no, we lost him.
Hey, buddy.
Howdy. I believe you were at the Thug Love message.
Okay, Thug Love. Yeah, continuing. I'm so sorry, folks. I can't. I've got obviously stable connection issues. Doing my best here.
Yep.
So Thug Love said, thought you might find it interesting how your high school tennis coach spends her weekends. I think it's very nice that this gentleman, Mr. Life, Thug
At least
Life,
somebody got the genders
Love.
right.
Yeah, it wasn't
Thank you,
going
Mr.
about
Thug Love, or Mrs. They, them. I don't know.
ma'am, something, just a lady.
Well, whoever Thug Love is, thank they, them.
Yeah. Also at 3 a.m., Smyers received a text message from Yates's number saying, I have information about Sasha Yates that you need to know. So Sasha herself reached out and texted also at 3 a.m. shortly after this Thug Love video dropped, showing him, again, if you're just joining us, getting deep dicked in the ass and one smoking meth. So the next morning, the same number texted Smyers saying, this is Sasha. This is Sasha Yates. I know what the video shows, and I'm prepared to step down as head coach for tennis at the end of the girls' season, which will be this Thursday. No, Sasha, we're not going to let you play out the next week, would be my response to that. Like,
I don't know. They let her play the first week.
That's cute that you think, there's Sasha.
Just a lady.
Don't mind me, just a lady out here teaching all the ladies how to hit balls.
Sasha built like a brick shit house.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't feel like that hair's real either.
No, it looked like it was a little on top of other hair.
Yeah, that hair looks as real as her vagine would look, right? I'm prepared to step down. You know what, Sasha? This isn't in your control anymore, I would say at this point. We had our reservations. Now this video shows up of you wondering, am I a good little meth whore? Am I a good meth whore? Getting deep dicked, Ben over. Yeah. No, I don't think that. I think we're good, Sasha. I think we can handle the boys and girls tennis team through next Thursday without your expertise.
Yeah.
Yates was employed as a tennis coach for both boys and girls teams at Gettysburg area high schools. Concerns first emerged in 22 after he allegedly went into the girls' locker room while the soccer team, which he did not coach, was changing in there and asked girls what kind of underwear they liked. One of the girls was the daughter of the school board president and complained that she felt uncomfortable. Boy, that sounds like a real bigot and transphobe.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, what other conclusion could you come to? So you're telling me this high school girl ran to daddy to be like, this guy's creeping me out? Bigot much? Transphobe much?
Transphobe.
A letter from the high school principal, Jeremy Lusk, was put in his file noting concerns. Right. Glad we got that taken care of.
Yep.
I'm going to fucking murder someone. Where did I leave off, Garrett?
It was reading the response back to the high school, I believe.
Yeah.
She just got the message at 3 a.m.
Jeremy Lusk put in the file noting concerns. Way to go, principal. About Yates and stating that it is imperative to maintain professional boundaries. The memo said Yates acknowledged changing in the locker room, but said he did not recall even asking about the girls about menstruation or their panties. Yeah, I bet that you conveniently did forget that part.
Yeah.
I bet you did. And by the way, you're burying the lead here. So if you go back a couple minutes, He's in the fucking women's locker room. Excuse me, girls' locker room. These aren't women. These are high school girls. He's in the girls' locker room showering and changing after with the soccer team, the girls'
Yeah,
soccer
not
team,
okay with that.
which he does not coach.
Yeah, not okay with that.
Why would a coach or teacher ever need to be in the changing in the locker room with the kids?
There's no fucking reason. That's
So Sasha wants to go, I don't even remember talking about periods and panties. Yeah, fuck that. Okay. What are you even doing in there changing, dude? Ma'am, what are you doing changing with the high school girls soccer team? You're not even the thing in there in the first place. Changing with them? Why is the coach changing ever with the kids? Ever?
there's no reason they should be.
No. I mean, if you guys just had a game and it was a downpour, absolute downpour, and everybody's filthy, muddy, I mean, maybe could there be once in a blue moon where the coach is like kind of off in his own way in the locker room? And I mean, I would think a coach would feel so fucking uncomfortable in that situation. They would be like, yeah, once all the kids clear out, I got to get cleaned up too. I'm a mess.
Yeah.
Like at no point would you be mingling with the high school kids, showering, changing at all. Taking your shirt off in front of these kids would feel highly inappropriate to me.
Yeah.
Highly. Simply changing your shirt. Nothing more, nothing less. Just that alone seems highly inappropriate as an adult authority figure with children. Sorry. Again, my prudeness is screaming out right now.
No, obviously you're such a prude because everybody here agrees.
Yeah. What do we have some comments of people agreeing?
Mostly just people yelling at your internet.
Yeah, sorry. I'm really sorry, guys.
AA Ron's in here. He said if it wasn't free, he'd bitch.
If it wasn't, yeah. Thanks, AA Ron. I'm sorry. I wonder if there's a way, AA Ron, if enough of you guys were nice enough, he might be able to go in there and snip these together. It might be too big of a pain in the ass. I don't want to ask that of him, but he probably has the capability to do that and tighten it up so that it makes sense. But, that might be a bridge too far. No. Smyers said the other board members privately agreed that Yates should not work in a school, but they were afraid to say so publicly and risk being called intolerant. Yeah, that's the problem with this bogus propaganda bullshit that's going on. When you shame people, it has real world effect. It just does. This is shit behavior we're seeing time and time again. Yeah. I wish more people in the trans community felt comfortable going, no, not in our name. Not in our name. The gay community's doing it. Yeah. I saw a story the other day. I didn't get to it, but there was some LGB conference, and the T's showed up and were trying to release tens of millions of insects.
Yeah,
throughout the thing, which is a common thing now, where the LGBs were trying to meet and go, these motherfuckers are making us look like psychopaths.
And it sucks too, because there's like two camps of trans people. There's the ones who are actually trans and trying to live their life, and there's the camp that is doing that. They're just assholes who are really confused.
Yeah. It's a genocide on the gay community, if you ask me, more so than anything else. But that's a conversation for another day when the rest of you catch up and wake up to what's really going on in these situations. Yeah. I don't believe that 20%, 10% of children are gender confused. It's absurd on its face.
I tell a lot of people, and I learned a lot of this through Marina too, is that real trans people don't tell you they're trans and you'll never know.
Or, well, for some of them, it would be impossible to hide.
There's that, but just the real trans people, they blend in. There's a way about it.
Real trans people probably aren't interested in being activists, just like normal gay people.
No, they blend in, live their life like everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. They and believe it or not, gay people, trans people, by and large want the same things as you do. They want to live in safe neighborhoods. They want to go to good schools. They want to have opportunities. They want to feel safe. They want to feel protected. Yep. They want, that's what they want. They want a thriving economy. They want lower prices of everything.
I know.
That's more important to them than this bullshit that's going on, where a person like this, who is a mentally depraved fucking mental case, is keeps getting their contract renewed. Why?
A self-admitted meth whore.
Yeah. Why do they keep getting? You'll see the same thing playing out time and time again. And I know these are isolated incidents. These are not everywhere, but it's the grooming nature of that no. If you've got a problem with this, if you've got a problem in any of these, why you must be bigoted or transphobic if you have a problem with this grown fucking man woman going into the locker room and changing with your children.
Yeah.
The problem's you, bigot. Like, no. Some of us aren't going to sit back and go, yeah, what's wrong with you? No, you're not. And you see it time and time again. This one goes, so they run the risk of publicly being intolerant. Yates's contract, the next sentence is, was extended in 2023, yet again. Oh. This time under the name David. Well, David's got a clean slate. So apparently we're done with Sasha now. So David, we're giving David another shot here.
Clever.
Obviously we don't want to.
Sasha did all that weird shit, kid touchy stuff.
Yeah. Sasha was the one having the creepy conversations, showering and changing with your children. But David, ta-da! Here we go.
Never worked here.
In August 2023, when Yates' contract renewal came before the board, it deadlocked with a 3-3 vote. Over the ensuing weeks, activists, children, of course, and media outlets, of course, began pressuring the board, accusing it of transphobia and hate.
Yeah.
Tristan Smith, good old Tristan, captain of the boys' tennis team, it sounds like a real genius himself, told the board, blatant transphobia is the main motivation behind this motion. Resident Jennifer Nawright likened board members who opposed renewing the contract to Nazis. First, they came for the coaches and librarians, and I did not speak out because I was not a coach or a librarian. Sarah Zip called for Smyers to be removed from her position for spewing hate. You know what? So that's a parent calling for this other parent who raised issues about this, for her to be removed from her position for spewing. I hope this dude smokes meth and fucks your kid. Is something I would never say.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't, I imagine some might think along those lines.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe if it's your kid he's smoking meth with and butt fucking, you'll have an issue. It's something I would never say or even think. I would never even think that.
No, obviously not.
But,
it's not out of the realm of possibilities.
I've been called a bigot, a Nazi, KKK Karen. They call me racist. I'm like, you haven't seen my family photos. I have a black child. That doesn't work. Doesn't work.
No, ask Kid Rock how that's going for him.
Yeah. Smyers asked for a board to review Yates' personal file before voting, but the school administration refused to provide it. America First Legal stepped in to offer pro bono legal services, writing in a 2023 letter that case law dictates school board members are entitled to have the information they need to make informed decisions about personnel. Neither you nor any other representative of the school district gets to decide what information is available to Ms. Smyers. The letter also said that Stock and Leader, a law firm that represents Pennsylvania school districts, had pressured school board members to renew Yates' contract by saying if they did not, they would be sued and held personally liable, which Smyers took as an inappropriate and unfounded threat.
I want to back up a little bit on what Smyers said, too. She said, I have a black child. She did not mention a black husband. Where's the dad, Mike?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe that would have gone even further if she said, I got a black-ass husband.
Yeah. She didn't mention a husband. Where's the dad?
Yeah. If she said she had, well, no, I wouldn't even say that. But yeah, no, you would. So I'm assuming this was an adopted situation, Gary.
Yeah, let's go with
just
that.
Fine.
Yep.
After America First Legal's intervention, Stock and Leader attorney Chris Harris. Okay, this is a great guy here, Chris Harris. Produced for the board a single written reprimand of Yates and told them that other complaints had not generated any written documentation. So yeah, kids chatter. They do. Fuck them. We don't even have written documentation. On September 5th, 2023, the board renewed Yates' contract in a 6-2 vote with school board president Kenneth Hasinger telling Penn Live, we were able to go back and look and see if rumors and other stuff, if there was any factual basis behind it. I think you saw the vote tonight would tell you that the majority of those rumors didn't have any factual basis to them. Okay. It's playing out well for you now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Chris Harris, that lawyer I mentioned that was fighting on behalf of the school district, turns out he did not even speak to one of the girls who complained about Yates, raising questions about the thoroughness.
Yeah, how do you do an
this
investigation of what the girls are saying if you didn't ask the girls what they were saying?
And I'm unbelievable.
Welcome back.
Fucking murder someone. So I was talking about the lawyer, Chris Harris. Again, a stock and leader attorney, Chris Harris. He's the one that produced this reprimand letter for Yates. And then blah, blah, blah. He's fighting all this. How dare you, you bigots and transphobes. So it turned out he did not even speak to one of the girls who complained about Yates, raising questions about the thoroughness of his investigation. By the way, in a shocking turn of events, in June, so just a couple months ago, Harris was charged with possessing and disseminating child porn.
Oh,
the lawyer.
Interesting.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
Are you shocked?
Nope. No, after hearing what he's defending, no, yeah.
Yeah. Seems a little odd.
Weird.
Yates has remained on the payroll, by the way. According to Smyers, one of the girls who complained about Yates said he continued to approach her and other girls outside the scope of his position, such as entering the softball team's dugout. Last month, Yates' contract was renewed again.
Can't keep
you
getting
seeing
away
the
with
problem, folks? Are you seeing it? For all you fuckers out there that tell me I'm nuts, even paying attention to some of these stories that I've been covering for a decade, this is where it's going. Shame the parents, call them crazy, call them names, call them bigoted, call them transphobic, and then renew this fucking monster's contract 3 times. And then the lawyer who sent and defend it, boom, charged with disseminating child porn. Yeah, not a shock to me, not a shock to Garrett.
No.
So let's see here. All of these other board members privately would tell me, look, we agree with you, but we own businesses in this town. Or it didn't happen to my daughter. Look, it happened to the people you swore an oath to protect when you won your election. Yates resigned September 30th, but the superintendent didn't explain to the public why that was. Just like, nothing to see here. It's kind of like Sam Brinton, Yeah. The fucking weirdo wearing dog masks and fucking dog leashes, running around in our federal government, and then gets caught stealing luggage from random women at the airport.
Was it him or Rick Levine who stole the luggage?
Yeah, no, it wasn't Rick. It wasn't Rick Levine who's still there spewing this shit and acting like anybody who has a single question about it is a transphobe and a bad person. Yeah. No, Sam Brinton, the bald asshole with the lipstick who you've never heard another word about since, that genius. Yeah, that's what they do. They just quietly dismiss him, acknowledge nothing about, and then the rest of us are stuck going, not terribly shocked. Sorry. Not terribly shocked. So let's see here. The Gettysburg Times reported on October 1st that Yates was resigning due to health reasons. I wonder if those would be mental in nature or
hopefully
if he had knee surgery, excuse me. The
Sasha. Way the story's going, I think the only surgery should be execution.
Superintendent Jason Perrin confirmed Yates' resignation, but would not say what the district has done to probe whether Yates' erratic behavior may have impacted students. The district does not comment, but I can promise you, of course it impacted students. You got to understand, there are very few times throughout your life that things will have a lasting impact. It could be as simple as a small conversation from a coach, right?
Yep.
A coach can give you some words of encouragement when you're at your lowest. A teacher can put faith in you when you just wanted to hide in the back of a classroom. You know, I had a drama teacher do that. I wanted to play the bush. Just stick me on the stage. I got to take this class. And she went, "No, you're my lead. You're my lead, and you're going to do it, and you're going to do well." And it was one of the Mrs. Smith. She was a drama teacher in middle school, maybe. I think it was middle school. It. You know, did I go on to have a drama career? Am I a thespian? No, but it meant a
You
lot.
perform.
Yeah, I do perform for a living, but it meant something. It was a small thing that I can call back to. I remember very small details about my life. Some of them tragic, some of them, you know, having a babysitter, let me grab her titties and having to kiss under the bra when I was
That's what
10,
we've heard.
when I was 10 and she was 16. Like those things impacted me. Those things stayed with me. It doesn't take very many those incidents. When you talk about someone, you know, the direction of their life taking turns. Now imagine this fucking story on these kids' lives and the amount of times things were not done by the adults put in a position of authority, in a position where their only goal should be to protect you. It's not about the fucking, you know, whatever this goofball, however they want to behave, however they feel they're being treated by the blah, blah. It's not about you, fuckface. It's about these kids and raising them right and making sure you give them the best chance. You know, it sucks because we do a lot of stories ragging on teachers, and teachers are so fucking important, man. It's not the teachers. It's the corrupt ass teachers union. It's the same thing. You know, Kamala Harris wants to go, that the union of the Border Patrol loves me. And it's like, no, the elitists of the border union do.
The
But no,
union
the union itself, the 16,000 strong members were unequivocal in their support for Trump and talking what an abstract failure you've been.
Yeah.
Failure across the board. I know people that are teachers. They're good people. They like how they sit in a room with 20, 25 fucking kids and deal with them day to day. I deal with one and I want to abort a 10-year-old. Like it's crazy. Like the role these people play, the tolerance they have, the patience they have, the important role they serve is not lost on me. As selfish as I am, it's not lost on me. And it takes not but a couple rotten eggs to spoil the whole fucking bunch. You have a duty to protect these people, these kids. You do. And this, you know, you need courage. You need a backbone. You need to be able to stand up in the face of this like Miss Smyers did and go, fuck no. No. No.
Yeah.
No. You don't get to talk to my fucking daughter about menstruation and her panties. Inappropriate. Completely. You don't get, and then when you find out, oh, they're smoking meth on camera, talking about being a good little meth whore and getting deep dicked by some guy. Yeah. It just goes, yeah, you sound mentally unstable by nature, Sasha. No offense. Smyer said the people who said her concerns about Yates were unfounded and motivated by bigotry are now eating crow. They must feel like idiots because the thing you told me doesn't happen has happened again. Yeah, here's the problem, Miss Smyers. I know you mean well when you say something like that. No, they don't feel like idiots. They still think you're a bigot and a transphobe. They are warped by something we've never seen in human history before, as far as I know. This poison, this toxin that is going around the heads of grown adults, making them behave and act this way. You hope that they can snap out of it. You hope, but I don't know. So no, I don't think they feel shame. They still feel like you're the problem. You're the problem. That's just the truth. I did want to go out. I did want to play this video. I just stumbled upon this on Twitter today. It's the dude punching someone.
Oh yeah,
you got
I
that
got
video, and because it can't all be serious stuff. Laughing at life, and this is just tragic. Now, I've talked before about there's some fucking kids, and I'd like to fucking grab them by the short fucking scruff of that neck and drop. I see a kid behaving like a spoiled little shit in a mall, and I just want to. I was saying how I'd like to pretend, like I tripped and just drop a fucking knee into their back and just send them spiraling into a clothing rack, for instance. Then get in his fucking ear and give him the what for.
Probably shouldn't be saying this, but the hot mom is famous for putting shopping carts in front of rambunctious kids' paths.
Yeah, no.
Just as they're running by, just push the cart in front of them, watch them hit it and fall. And you should have been running around, shouldn't you?
Yeah. Oh, you think you can have a tantrum here and your mom's going to act like, oh, my little prince didn't do anything wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Well, maybe I run over his foot with a fucking cart
and make him feel kids out.
Yeah. So I don't do that. Typically, I don't drop knees into toddlers' backs and drive them into coat racks, but I can understand the feeling of that. There's almost nothing worse than seeing spoiled, rotten kids. And I don't know what this is. But I can only assume that this kid was acting. I don't know both sides of the story, but you can see it here.
Yeah, we don't know what the kid said first or how.
No, I have no idea who started this. This guy walks up and
oh, second hit.
Now we get to learn a life lesson.
Oh yeah.
Now this man
drops the black jacket man. I love him.
Yeah, he's like, all right, you gonna fucking punch my kid? All right.
He's kicking his ass.
Yeah, if you're watching this on video, there's some dude who just walks up and drops a little kid, just fucking cracks him in the jaw. Is the kid a lump? Does he go down hard and stay down? Oh yeah,
he goes down hard. Yeah. Oh, well, he has a lot of snow gear on. He's like in that little monkey suit, so he didn't stand a chance anyways. He couldn't get his arms in front of his face.
No chance. Okay, mom picks him up. He's doing fine. He's going to be fine.
Dad is kicking the shit out of the man who punched him.
Yeah. You know what? I'd like to sit the kid and the grown man that threw the first punch down and explain where each of them went wrong. Yeah, I would. I don't know, who started this. I mean, the kid, I don't know what the kid, could the kid have said anything that makes you go, he's going to need one? Yeah. I mean, is there something he could have said?
Oh, I don't know. It's hard. It's tricky when it comes to kids because it depends on how old the kid is. Like, did he know better than to say it?
He looks like he's about 5.
Yeah, so probably not. I don't think he deserved it then.
Let's see it one more time because it's a straight shot to the jaw. I don't think the guy wound up as much as he could. I don't know if this was more message sending or like, usually when a man hits another man, he's trying to fucking put his fist through him. It's not like a warning shot. Yeah. You don't hit another person with little force, but it doesn't look like the guy really bang. It's just kind of a pop, Not going to do any structural damage. And see when when the second guy comes in to defend after that, like the mom comes in and bang, that guy throws a punch.
That's a haymaker right there. You see him drop.
Yeah.
And then I love while he's on the ground, the second hit. Just in case.
Yeah, bang. And then you going to get back up? Well, let's drag you over here. Come on, you son of a bitch. I would have been using knees here.
Yep.
And he's talking shit over him. That'll get him 15 yards in the NFL.
Yep.
When a guy's down, you start talking shit over him. What is that on the ground there? Is that the kid's lunchbox or something? Or
I think it's the mom's shopping cart or shopping basket. She puts it down when she picks him up.
Okay, let me see it again. Start at the beginning. If you're watching this on YouTube or wherever you...
Yep. Bam.
Bang.
So it's the dad's cart. He just dropped it and started bang the dude.
Yeah, see, the dad comes with authority. He's like, that's how you throw a punch. That's how you throw a fucking punch. Now he's going to drag him over here. And again, this would get you 15 yards immediately. The way he's standing over him talking shit.
I like the employee. It's just like, I got nothing.
Yeah. And I like how this immediately branched off into traditional roles. Mom pushes the guy away from the kid and then immediately goes for the child. And dad's like, fuck, now I got to fight this guy.
Yep.
Traditional gender roles still apply here. Does this look like a foreign country, by the way?
No, those are American bottles, it looks like.
Does it? Those look like foreign.
Maybe. It's just a regular grocery store, though.
I pulled up this. Let me see the punch one more time.
Yeah. Boom.
It kind of sends the kid, man. Kids don't know how to
fall. It does.
Fall.
That kid flew a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, he's like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And to our earlier point, that kid's probably going to remember that. Of all the moments in your life, that time when you were 5, like I don't remember much from when I was 5, 6, 4. I remember crying a lot when I was dragged to first grade because I skipped kindergarten and I was like, I'm supposed to be in kindergarten. Like I was all bummed out about it for some reason. I don't know why, but I remember that. I remember Jason Cotton, kid that lived down the street, being like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be, and I was like, bullshit. I'm supposed to be in kindergarten, like shit like that. I remember that because it was traumatic at the time.
Yeah.
I imagine this kid's going to remember the time the full grown man fucking cracked him in the jaw at the grocery store. I'm thinking anyways.
Yep.
Would your
I
mom
think
ever
that's,
hit? Did you ever get close fisted like that from a
yes,
parent?
I have.
You did. You answered
Yes.
that quick, Garrett. Was it the hot
100%.
mom or your dad?
It was the hot mom.
Nice, dude. Your mom is awesome.
I think it was like 15.
We got to get
15.
your hot mom on one day to discuss
Maybe.
some of this stuff.
But I think I was like 15, 16. I stole one of my grandma's cigarettes and I was trying to sneak it while they were at the theater. She came home a little earlier than I expected. I got caught. And it wasn't the cigarette that got me punched in the face. It was when I told her, she asked me directly, she's like, were you smoking? I said, no. And that's when I got punched in the face.
Okay. So it
I
was
lied right to her
related.
face.
There's something about cigarettes and alcohol that make parents go off the deep end.
Yeah.
My dad, famously, it was the first time that I was being left in charge. My brother and sister was 13. So they would get a babysitter, not for me, but because my sister was 5 years younger. And so it was like, yeah, Mike's not responsible enough. He's just going to let his sister take off or something, And so it was like, yeah, we'll bring over, the one of the Nagy girls and let them watch, whatever. But this time my mom and dad were going out of town for the night. They were going overnight. I can't remember what they were doing, but Bob was obviously like, finally, I'm getting out of the house. I'm going to tag Pat, going to a hotel, that whole thing. And, Mike, you're in charge. And I was like, yeah, no problem. I immediately left the house and got absolutely obliterated, shit-faced. Stole like one of those gallon glass jars from the basement of
As a good
wine.
babysitter does.
Huh?
As a good babysitter does.
Yeah. And I got fucking blackout drunk and then came stumbling back home. And my sister's like, I'm puking. I'm a mess. I'd never drank before in my life. I'm 13 years old. And I'm like fumbling. My sister doesn't know what drunk is. My parents never drank. She's fucking 7. She has no idea. And so she calls the hotel, like, here's the emergency number to call if there's a problem. And my dad fucking came down those stairs and grabbed me by the fucking hair and he dragged me up the stairs. Fucking step by step. I don't remember it. I was told
nobody
after.
stopped him.
Fuck no. Hell no.
And nor should they, man. Sometimes it's warranted.
He probably should have grabbed me by the back of the hair and fucking literally just close fisted, bang, knocked teeth out. He should have broken a nose, a jaw, something.
I will say the story with my mom punching me in the face literally ends right after the fist made contact. I dropped and I just immediately was like, yep, I was smoking. 100%. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
I immediately fessed up.
Yeah.
Never lied to my mom again.
I'm telling you, there is something to that. I think, we see with black fathers, they sometimes take a knock for this when they try to keep their boys in line. It's like, all right, we've watched videos of it where it's like, give me the belt. And then they just fucking go to town. They go ham. They go jit on an ass. And it's like, how dare you? It's like, nah, man, some of these guys, maybe they cross the line a little bit.
Yeah.
Some of them have, but some of them, it's like, you know what? When you got a kid that thinks that they know everything already and you don't lay a goon hand down on them from time to time,
they don't
maybe that works out for you. But I think if that threat of like, no, this full grown human might really fucking teach me a lesson. Since I'm apparently not capable of learning it, my old man grabbed me with a fucking hair and just yanked me up the stairs. Yep. You cocksucker. I was about to get late. I was in mid thrust when I got a fucking phone call and you're dragging me up the fucking stairs. And, I look back on it. It's like, sorry, dude, I get it.
Yep.
And it, obviously I learned my lesson and never drank again. So
I never lied again.
Yeah. You never smoked again. Never lied again. Sure. All right, let's do an email and get out of here. Walters@DetroitCast.com. This son of a bitch. I swear, I lay my goat out there And James just wants to fucking get it.
Can't let him have it.
Like it's his whole job is trying to get my goat. And it's like, I got to stop putting my goat out there.
That's your only mistake. You can't let him have it.
No. Officer hypocrites.
Hypocrisy police.
When someone takes issue with my vast career in law enforcement, my background in law enforcement.
How am I getting roped into this, by the way? He said hypocrites, plural.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're involved too.
All right, now I'm in.
Firstly, you can't have it both ways, boys.
That's called bisexual.
Shoot on sight or jack off prisoners, officer. Not both. Secondly, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Eating bugs and taking dick. That's part of the sentence. You know me. I'm law and order. So I always defer to Officer Walters. Shoot them all. Let the good Lord sort them out. Come on, man.
That's not very libertarian of James.
No, I think he's wrong.
You shouldn't like the cops or the laws.
I'm very clear about this. I don't know if I would have made a great cop, Yeah. I don't know, because I'd shoot most of the people I encounter on a daily.
I made a better criminal. I learned how to avoid the law in that class.
No, I chose to stay on the sidelines, take a knee on this one, because I knew I wouldn't have been a great criminal. I'd fold under questioning quite quickly. It wouldn't be like a movie script where I act all tough. I'd be scared. So I wouldn't have been a great criminal. But as a cop, I would have drawn my weapon over almost anything and not regretted it. I would have shot a lot of people. Yeah. Let's be honest. I would have shot a lot of people. I would have been proud of that fact. You want to get lippy with me, eat lead. Like, that just would have been my attitude. I'm not taking shit from you. This uniform is to be respected. This badge is to be respected. And someone didn't raise you right. And so I'm going to have to do it. And I just start blasting. I'm very open about my philosophy, my policies. But when I take you down and you recover from wherever I've shot you, and I'll be the first to say I'd probably be pretty erratic. So God knows where I'm going to hit you.
Yeah.
But once you recover and it's like, yeah, we got to take this guy in. Like, hey, you're there doing your time, James. So yes, would I be wild with my aim and with my shooting? Yeah. Are some innocent people going to die? Absolutely. Get caught in the crossfire. No doubt about it. I'm very honest about this. I'm nothing if not honest. Some innocent people, maybe even some kids, are going to get hit in the crossfire. It's just the way it goes when you're dealing with Officer Walters. But when the perp is caught, the disrespecter, if you will, is caught, and they go down, when they go to prison, I'm not saying you got to offer them a menu and, what are we having for dinner this evening? I'm not saying we ever serve filet mignon. But if we're serving bologna sandwiches and you get one slice of bologna, maybe a slice of cheese on Fridays, mustard mayo, whatever, like that's the bare minimum. Give them that. That's fine. Lacing it with maggots, having rotten fucking potatoes. No, I think that's over the line. We're better than that.
Well, see, and this is where I think my prison plan comes into play that I said yesterday, where it's like, look, let's just get rid of all the low level things that can get settled out of prison. We reserve prison for just the worst of the worst, and then they can eat maggots and get butt fucked.
Well, I think there's a lot of criminals that, I think you're making the problem worse. So what you're talking about is almost revenge, like, you think you're going to behave that way in society?
We're talking like murderers and violent criminals.
But I'm talking about, like, people fuck up in life. We're human. People
those ones can get sorted out a little bit,
But if you have to do it, it's like, this guy won't learn his lesson. We got to take him off the streets for a little bit. I think not everybody's a mass murderer. Not everybody belongs in Supermax, but you do need some adult timeouts. At that point, I think if you start just sticking that guy with dicks against his will, I think you might create something way worse when it comes out. So I think I don't think it's beneficial. I don't think feeding someone rat shit and fucking, stuff like that is helping the cause. I do believe that the prison system is necessary. It should never be for profit like it is. Yeah. And it should serve a very important purpose of, like, trying to get someone back on track. How do we clean the slate, get someone back in society? Stuffing them full of random dicks doesn't help, and feeding them inhumane food I wouldn't feed to Cece. I wouldn't do that to Cece.
Yeah.
That to me is a bridge too far. And if James can't handle that, I don't know what to tell him. I feel like I'm very grounded on this. I feel like I'm putting my goat out there for him to fucking snatch. Son of
He's
a
gonna
bitch.
say whatever he can to snatch it next time. Don't worry. Whatever opinion you got right now, he will find the counters.
I wish people would email. I know we're not reaching that many people at the moment. We're trying some SEO stuff. AA Ron started yesterday. Something popped up on my YouTube when I was watching on TV, and I noticed the difference. So hopefully that helps. We'll see.
Recommended video right under one of those shorts is a short of us.
Nice.
From our show.
Nice. There's some
I'm subscribed, so it's a little cheating, but
there's some other things going on behind the scenes with labeling, titling, that kind of stuff that hopefully will help. He and I were discussing it yesterday, and he implemented it. So hopefully people see some stuff, share some stuff. I can't remember where I was going with that, but
SEO. We're growing.
Yeah. But I'd love to hear from people. Walters at DetroitCast.com. Even if you think your opinion doesn't matter, it does. I love reading from you guys. Am I way off base on this? I'd be a reckless cop. I don't mind shooting a perp or two. No, I don't mind innocence being in the crosshairs. I like
you've been like it's the same stance you've always had. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, but I'd love to hear from other people. Like, you're way off base. They should all be getting fucked nightly. Again, I think that just promotes the biggest bully wins, and I'm against bullies on every level. I don't like bullies. I don't like telling other adults how to behave, how to vote, what they have to do. None of us like that feeling. And when you're talking about the jail system, you shouldn't have to be the biggest bully on the street in order to do well and rehab. And I think you make the situation way worse for people in prison. But now, maybe if I was the biggest guy in the world, toughest, strong, like maybe if I was that guy, I wouldn't care.
But I also understand there's got to be a little bit of a pecking order. Somebody's got to keep other people in check, because if everybody goes unchecked, then you got some problem people who also go unchecked.
There's a huge, divide between being kept in check and getting deep dicked against your will. That's just my personal opinion.
There's a middle ground for sure.
Yeah, I feel like, hey, I understand there's going to be a pecking order. Whites are going to be over here. The blackies over here. Mexicanos over here. Like, I get it.
They got their delegates. They got their leaders.
Yeah. And when you feel wronged, maybe you need to do something about it. I'm not opposed to
heart-to-heart talk with them.
An innocent shanking here and there to keep someone in line. That's one thing. Like, we're playing within the boundaries here. Like, I get it. You're going to have a political system in the jail that's going to play out. I understand all that. When you start just going, here's a weak guy, we can just fuck his ass to death, or mouth to death. That's where I'm like, okay, this isn't acceptable in any polite society. It just isn't. What are we, animals? A
little bit.
Yeah. Anyway, you want to start a program in jail where they're gardening and learning how to cook fucking food I love it.
And for the most part, that is what goes on in jails.
Yeah, a lot of it is. But
there's some problems.
No doubt about it. All right, we'll wrap it there for the day. Thank you, Garrett. Thank you all. If anyone is still here, putting up with connection issues, I'm very sorry. I mean that it drives me out of my fucking mind having to deal with that. I swear these will all get straightened out. I've had multiple meetings about the studio and how that's going to go and layout. And I hope that we're going to wire things and have no connection issues. It sucks in this interim period. I thank you all for sticking around.
Our best fans are nothing but loyal.
Yeah, no. They always have been. And member show tomorrow. So patreon.com/TDC podcast, become a member. You get an extra show a week. Garrett and I will be here, and we'll go through some stuff. There's some stuff I didn't get to today. That could be some fun as well. So we'll look forward to you then. Have a great rest of the day, Garrett.